Goal 4 of Pope Francis's Laudato Si action platform promotes the adoption of sustainable lifestyles. Investing in this goal is one of the best ways universities can make a lasting impact by preparing students for a sustainable life post-graduation, while also making their campus a greener place itself. It fits so easily within the general university structure, educating students to go out into the world and be successful members of society. Many university students come into college living on their own for the very first time. This means new eating habits, new routines, new relationships with other people, all chances for new beginnings. Frankly, it can be really intimidating. Some students may come from households that already institute greener practices, but many do not. Enter the university, taking on the role of providing substantial guidance for students on how to build a sustainable lifestyle in the way that they can maintain. Providing compost buckets in the dorms and including information about what can go in them, accepting and giving discounts for reusable containers at on-campus restaurants and coffee shops, making environmentally conscious food available at dining halls, but most of all, making education about sustainability free and easily accessible. In Laudato Si, Pope Francis writes, "As often occurs in periods of deep crisis which require bold decisions, we are tempted to think that what is happening is not entirely clear. Superficially, apart from a few obvious signs of pollution and deterioration, things do not look that serious, and the planet could continue as it is for some time. Such evasiveness serves as a license to continue carrying on with our present lifestyles and models of production and consumption. This is the way human beings contrive to feed their self-destructive vices, trying not to see them, trying not to acknowledge them, delaying the important decisions, and pretending that nothing will happen. Eradicating ignorance is obviously no small task, and that's not exactly the university's role here. However, instituting concrete systems for increasing sustainability in students will not only be good for the environment around the university itself, but also prepare their students with lifestyles that they can go out and spread after graduation." Going off of that, the idea of intergenerational solidarity takes up space in a few different ways in the context of the university. Not only are there relationships between professors and enrolled students, but if the university is successful, those students then graduate and go into the world living a greener lifestyle than they came in with. As they go into the world, they can continue pushing this green agenda to their own peers, coworkers, and families. In section 159 of the Laudato Si, Pope Francis writes, "Since the world has been given to us, we can no longer view reality in a purely utilitarian way, in which efficiency and productivity are entirely geared to our individual benefit. Intergenerational solidarity is not optional, but rather a basic question of justice, since the world we received also belongs to those who will follow us. Just as universities and their goals change from generation to generation, so does the knowledge that they pass down. That knowledge base is grown and modified based on new understandings and the common good. Therefore, because we both need to continually remind ourselves that this world is not ours alone, and because we can no longer ignore that our lifestyles are negatively impacting the well-being of the planet, it is crucial for universities to reestablish how they approach sustainability. This may vary from campus to campus, depending on resource distribution and funding, but every university needs to acknowledge their responsibility to do their part in promoting sustainable lifestyles in their students, for current and future classes. It is also important to acknowledge the power of professors in these green efforts and not leave them out as the university develops these new practices. Their space, as both a role model and teacher to students, is further possibility to promote changes in students by seeing a green lifestyle in action and how easy those practices can be to implement. Further, a greener university utilizes its resources better, which can be more profitable in the long run. So, not only is it a benefit to the students and the common good, but promoting and executing sustainable practices at every level of the university structure is the most beneficial to themselves as well. This isn't to say that instituting these practices will be easy. In terms of change, Pope Francis writes, "Although change is part of the working of complex systems, the speed with which human activity has developed contrasts the naturally slow pace of biological evolution. Moreover, the goals of this rapid and constant change are not necessarily geared to the common good or to integral and sustainable human development. Change is something desirable, yet it becomes a source of anxiety when it causes harm to the world and to the quality of life of much of humanity. In other words, changing fundamental operations at any level of society is going to take a lot of convincing, but in order to quite literally save the world, these efforts will be worth it." The Pope advises on this as well in section 191. He says, "We need to grow in the conviction that a decrease in the pace of production and consumption can at times give rise to another form of progress and development. Efforts to promote a sustainable use of natural resources are not a waste of money, but rather an investment capable of providing other economic benefits in the medium term. If we look at the larger picture, we can see that a more diversified and innovative form of production, which impact less on the environment, can prove very profitable. It is a matter of openness to different possibilities, which do not involve stifling human creativity and its ideals of progress, but rather directing that energy along new channels. In essence, the university has the potential to play the perfect role in supporting students in living more sustainable lifestyles, spreading those practices into the rest of society, and benefit themselves in the process without a loss to productivity or profitability. Promoting sustainable lifestyles is just one of 7 goals outlined in the Laudato Si, but they can all work together. In terms of the university, this goal works particularly well with community resilience and empowerment and ecological education. More information on these goals can be found on the Laudato Si Action Platform website.